Hey, what is going on? How the heck we all doing today? My name is Brendan, coming at you live from Atlas Stationers in Chicago. We've got a very special event for y'all today. We are bringing on Pelikan. So very exciting times, as Pelikan is actually one of my favorite brands personally. So we're going to dive in and kind of talk about some of the designs, some of the new releases, and then we've also got a very, very big giveaway. And we will let you know how to win that giveaway here shortly. So give me 1 second, pulling up my agenda here. If any of you have any questions during the show, please submit them in the chat. Okay? 1 second. But yeah, visit atlasstationers.com. We are actually running 30% off all Pelikan today. So the prices are already brought down for you all, and it's while supplies last. So if you're looking for a special edition to get it in time for the holiday season, make sure you go check it out right now. Gary, I see that you joined the call. Give me 1 second. I am going to bring you on. Give me 1 second here. All right, here we go. Gary, how you doing?
Brendan, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I like that. That's some big energy right there. I'm feeling good as well. It's a pleasure to meet you face to face and actually talk with you.
I know. I'm dying to get out to Chicago again, back where I used to live many years ago.
Oh, man. You know what? When you're out here, we'll make sure to welcome you. It's the greatest city in the world, and I'm sure you know I'm biased. So
I am, too. If I could share stuff with you right now, I've got right up here on my wall is a picture of the final game ever played in Chicago Stadium back in, it's got the date on it, May 30th, 1994.
Wow.
And they sold this picture, this big, huge framed picture all over Chicago. So I'm walking down the street that your store is on. I'd never been in your store before, but down the street they were selling these framed pictures. And I got it. And I was at that game. I start looking at the picture, and there I was in the 13th row behind the Bulls bench, the final game ever played there.
Wow.
And I had to buy it. So
wow.
Many years ago. That was probably before you were born, though.
2 years before I was born. 2 years before the greatest year of all time, a.k.a. 1996, as we all know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's kind of a rare collectible now, if you will, because I'm sure you can't
I've got
find
my
that
ticket
anywhere.
up there. I've got my ticket up there. Hang on.
Nice. You guys know we love talking Chicago. Oh, that is super cool.
There it
man.
is. See, I got the actual, I framed it in the same matting as the picture came in. And I've got me and 3 buddies who went to that game. And I didn't know it was going to be the final game ever, but it was really crazy that I'm walking down the street and there it is. There's the picture. I go, hey, I wonder if I'm in that picture.
It was meant to be at that point.
You need a some sort of microscope to see it because I'm about that tall in the picture. But anyway, it's pretty cool.
Hey, all that matters is that you're in it. So that's one more photo that you're in that I'm not. So big congrats to you.
Yeah.
Gary, really cool to have you on the show. We've been emailing back and forth a little bit. And if I recall, it was you that went to Illinois State University, correct?
Yes, we went to the same school a few years apart.
How crazy is that? So we're both alumni at ISU. So, when I found that out, I was like, no way. We're going to instantly be friends. So go Redbirds to anybody.
Go
watching.
Redbirds.
Nice.
Exactly. Yeah, I unfortunately I got a scholarship there, and unfortunately they canceled the program after my first year there, and so I moved to California, which
tough.
I have to tell you that I'm looking in the background and I can see the L train going by and everything. It has got to be freezing there, and I don't know how you live like that.
It's because we're used to it. We're used to the unpredictable weather, and you know what? A 30-degree day is a perfect day in my eyes. So.
Yeah, it's typically in Southern California here where I live now. It's probably pretty much 75 degrees every day this time of year. So.
I do like that weather a little bit more, but we work with what we've got. So, Gary, big thank you to being on the show today. Really happy to have you and talk about Pelikan. A lot of people actually know Pelikan's my all-time favorite brand. I don't know if you were aware of that, but I've got one or two myself. So before we begin and start talking about the product, if you don't mind, can you give an introduction about who you are, what Chart Pack does, relationship with Pelikan, just an overview, if you will.
Absolutely. I started way back in the early 90s with a company called Kohinoor, who Chartpak, who I work for now, actually owns today. And Kohinoor was the North American distributor for Mont Blanc.
Oh, interesting.
And so I started out with Mont Blanc, and they also were owned by a company called Rotring. And so throughout the 90s, I sold Mont Blanc and Rotring, and then they also brought Graf Faber to America in the 90s as well, mid 90s. And so I've got a lot of experience with those brands. And about 8 years ago, I came back to Chartpak, took on the role of national sales director. About a year ago, I took on another role in addition to sales director as the marketing manager for Pelikan.
Wow.
I couldn't have been happier, and it's been a really, really good fit for me to get back into the pen world with both feet. So I've been in it for a lot of years, but now more than ever, and so it's been a lot of fun here. Chartpak is an organization that goes back many years and owns a lot of historic brands. I like to say that all of the brands we have, which are now up to 20 of them, I won't list them, but
20?
Kohinoor, Grumbacher, 20 brands we own, and yeah, it's a lot. And but all of the brands that we own have a history, a quality, and a story behind them. And there's just so much history and quality behind the Pelikan brand that it fits in really, really well to our portfolio of what we do on it with all of the brands that we have.
Absolutely.
And so, Pelikan, going back, back into the 1800s, and it's just really amazing to have that history. And to this day, there's probably unmatched quality. And I'm so glad to hear that you are a fan of Pelikan. And it's amazing, all of the brand.
That's mine right here. Sorry, that's why I was moving around so much. I had to make sure I had mine on me. So.
Wait, do I have a matching one here? Let me see.
Yeah, this is the M805 for those wondering. It's just such a classy pen.
Oh wow, I have one very similar to that.
You got the 800. You got the gold trim.
It's the 800, exactly.
Nice, nice.
And look at you. You even know your pens. Seeing them on Instagram Live, it's 2,000 miles apart. You can still notice that it's an M800 gold trim.
That's why it's so great. You can identify them super easily, and if you're holding one and writing with one, you can instantly tell it's a Pelikan. But real quick, that's phenomenal. So you've been working a lot or closely with different companies, or even for different companies, with all these pen brands throughout the years. So you know a thing or two about pens, I'd say, huh?
I love pens, and it's amazing. Every time I talk to somebody who loves pens, I learn something new that I didn't know before. It's just this constant building of nuggets of information that you've got to learn, and it's every single day it seems I learn one more thing new that adds to it, and it's just amazing how much information there is. And for you, with all of the brands that Atlas carries, it's amazing that you have to know something about every one of those. It gets tough.
It gets tough. There's a lot of pens.
And I really only need to know one brand, and it's amazing.
Perfect. Well, we really appreciate the introduction, and I think we're ready to kind of move into some product here. So for those of you listening, we're going to showcase the product. We're going to go over some newer product first that I believe is due out in these next couple weeks, or hopefully by the end of the month. And then I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for what we're going to give away. So we'll announce that near the end of the video. It's a huge giveaway. Gary, when you sent me that email, I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. So we'll keep it a secret for now, though.
Well, I do want to tip a little bit of insider information here, just so people know when they might want to hang on to this call a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I asked Brendan, I've got 3 different ideas of something that we can do as a giveaway, and he chose the most expensive one. Surprisingly, he chose the most expensive one.
For the people, it's for our fans. I had to choose the most expensive. So real quick, the retail price of the pen that we're giving away today, compliments of Gary, is I think $685. So woo.
Exactly.
So that's
insane, so it's a nice one. And I don't know why you didn't take the one that was $280 that I offered, Surprisingly, you didn't.
I don't know. At first I'm a price type of guy. The higher the expense, the more I love it. So cool. So let's jump in. First on the agenda, I don't have the new releases here. Obviously, I'm not too sure if you do, but the
I
newest
don't.
one. Okay, so I've got some photos. I'll flip my screen. I want to talk about the M405 Silver and White Edition. So, oh, you've got a sweet photo of it. Look at that. Yeah, so
I came prepared.
yeah, that is a really nice finish. See, the reason why I like Pelikan so much is because it's incredibly crispy. Gary, I don't know if you've been following along, but I use the term crispy when I identify a pen that is super clean cut and sharp. And to me, that's what Pelikan represents. Very classy, but has a really nice design to it as well. So in terms of the M405, we don't really carry too many of these in store. I think this will actually be like the first one we have in quite some time. So can you real quick just talk about maybe the size differences, of the different models, the 200 or I guess even the 101 all the way up to the 1000?
I've got a little bit of a, let's see if I can get this up here without spilling my tray.
Oh, sick.
Tilt the camera down here so you can see them a little bit better. Where am I here? There we are. Okay,
Wow.
so what I've got here is all the way on the top is the M1000, and you can kind of get a little bit of a viewing of what the different sizes are. So here's an 800. This here is a 600 here. The vibrant orange and the blue and black is a 600 as well. I don't have a 400, but you get down to the 200. The 400 would be in between these two sizes here. I've got one other thing I can show you that kind of shows the sizes.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
So we got a size chart there, I see.
Yeah, so Pelikan uses the M designation for any of the piston-filled pens. And when you see the size designation, the larger is going to be a larger size. So the M1000 being the largest, and on this particular, what do we got here? There's an M300 also, actually that is smaller than the 200. So, but what's really interesting to note, which I love, because Pelikan makes the pens in all of these sizes. Everybody has different size hands and has different what they like in a pen is different. And so, if I take a 200 demonstrator, now that I like larger pens, this is a 200 demonstrator, which is relatively small. It's on the smaller scale of the Pelikan. But when you post the pen, it actually is big enough for my hand, and it's nice that it has that kind of ability to be a larger pen when it's posted. Now, the other thing that's important to note on the Pelikan pens is they have an enormous ink reservoir. I'm going to show you something here. So I think the M1000 is a 1.35 milliliters of ink capacity.
It's a lot.
Now, when you look at it comparatively to the 200 series, that has a 1.2 milliliter ink capacity. So they're almost the same size ink capacity. That's one of the things when you look through all of the different sizes of Pelikan pens. Regardless of what size you choose, you're going to have a huge ink capacity. So back to the 405 Silver White. This,
I did not know that, to be honest. I did not know that they all had the same capacity. That's really cool. So that 405, the new one, will have the exact same capacity as the 1000.
yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's actually 1.3 milliliters as opposed to 1.35 in the M1000.
So very close.
So you're very close. They're virtually identical. And one of the things that you find when using a fountain pen, you have to fill them. And filling them over and over. If you look at the average capacity of a fountain pen, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it's about 1 milliliter, or I would say that more than half of fountain pens are less than 1 milliliter.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference, and especially if you use an ink converter, those only hold like a half a milliliter or somewhere around there. So, holding a lot of ink is nice to not have to continually replenish your ink supply.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sure you don't get inky fingers every day too, you know?
Exactly. I love that you learned a little nugget here today. Also,
I'm all about, you got to learn something new every day. Like, I like to think I know quite a bit, especially about pens, but there's always something else out there, as you just discussed, during your introduction. It's amazing. Yeah. There's always something new about a particular product in terms of Pelikan products. And whether it's intentional or unintentional based on the design and manufacturing process, there's still something new out there to be learned. So crazy stuff,
exactly.
Man. Cool. Yeah, real quick, let's show the new M405 real quick. Was there any inspiration behind the color scheme here, the theme? Is this a part of a series? Because I think there was like a series that came out that was like a turquoise, a pink, a purple. Is this the same series, or was that a size bigger?
Yeah, there was the 600 series. It was a size larger, but there's the several different variations of the white. What I think inspired this pen is if you go back to the Stressman series. Now, this is a very popular pen. This here happens to be the one that I use every day. It's an 800 Stressman. Stressman has the anthracite stripes on this one here. And if you look, and it's going to be kind of hard to show with a picture, but if you look at these two pens side by side, they're almost the complete opposite with the color scheme.
Oh, interesting.
And so I like it. You've got the white barrel instead of the black on the cap, and then the stripes are basically the white with the black on there. And of course, they both have the palladium coating on the fittings and so forth. But yeah, it's and you'll have this. Well, that's I use the rollerball there. Go back to the fountain pen here.
Yeah, be careful. Anytime I mention rollerball or ballpoints, I just get absolutely scolded by the group. So I had to tell them there's people out there that still use rollerballs and ballpoints. So, those people are good people too. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Well, regardless of whether you use this is the same exact pen in a rollerball and a ballpoint. And one of the other things that I love about Pelikan is that when you remove the cap, it's 3/4 of a revolution to unscrew the cap. And because I use fountain pen or rollerball, it's a liquid ink pen. You want to keep the cap on it. So I'm constantly opening and removing the cap, and it's really nice. And I wanted to show this Olmas pen, which I have had I got this sometime around 2000. You have to go 3 full revolutions to remove the cap. And I love this pen. It's a beautiful, it's a Pelikan.
Yeah, it looks
beautiful.
Pretty.
Which almost is not made anymore today, as far as I know. I think they ceased business about 5 years ago or longer. I'm not sure.
That's
but
correct.
But you have to just keep twisting. And if I was using this on a regular basis, it would get very tedious to have to keep doing that. So back to the Pelikan demonstrator here, you can see it's just such a quick removal of the cap, and it is probably my favorite feature of the pen, and something that people don't often think about when using a pen, especially a liquid ink pen. You want to be able to put the cap on quickly and easily with just 3/4 of a turn. It's not you don't have to re-grip it to keep.
You're not straining your wrist by just keep twisting and twisting and twisting. So I like that a lot. And that's just a reason why, again, Pelikan to me is a very superior pen brand, is because just the design and the mechanics of it, the functionality. Like I sometimes find flaws in pens. Sometimes that will happen. I have not found a flaw in Pelikan. So, and I look, man, I look for them too. And I have not found one. So that's a big reason why I just love the brand. So in terms of new releases, how often does Pelikan release new products? So is there a new 600 every year, a new 400? What's the thought process behind what's released?
There's not a specific number of pens being released. What happened this year was the pens that we're talking about right now, like the 405 silver white and the upcoming 600 tortoiseshell red, which we'll get to in a minute. Those were supposed to be released back in April. April and May. And because of the pandemic, everything was getting shut down, and they couldn't get raw materials. They didn't have the manufacturing capacity to do it. So this year that I've been involved with very, very closely with Pelikan and their launches and their releases is completely different than every other year. Now, back to your original question. They look at a lot of different things, colors. They look at size, what trends are and so forth, both with colors and with sizes of pens. They look at certain colors might have a, let's say, propensity to be a smaller pen, which might be more for female. So you might want to not have an 800 in the violet white,
Sure.
Which so there's a lot of different things that go into it. There's some amazing people at Pelikan, Jens Meyer and Jana, who just do a great job of coming up with the colors and what is to come. They are also very, very good at not releasing information with other people. I know Atlas wants to be the first on the street to know everything.
Everything.
But so does everyone else. And so we have a whole launch schedule when a pen is released that everybody in the world gets it at the same time. And so it's not a perfect system, but it's very close to perfect. And so when I sent you the information on the violet white, you would have been the first to know about it, and we like to keep it that way. And it's a very I get emails and I get directives from Pelikan. Do not release this thing. It's a specific time and date of when we can release information, which is good because you want to have everybody to have it at the same time and so forth. But as far as the number of pens, it has varied widely each year on how many pens Pelikan releases. And next year, I'm hoping it'll be a regular year, and there'll be a few more pen releases. I've got some inside knowledge on upcoming things that I can't share, but so far it looks like most of the manufacturing is back up and running at a pace that they should be able to. We've had they had to make some decisions too because they had limited manufacturing capacity to decide, okay, do we come out with a new pen or do we make pens that are currently on the market in the Pelikan regular collection that we've run out of? And so they have to make a decision there. They can only make so many pens at this time. So anyway, it's not sure I answered the question completely, but
no, you did, and it's important. I mean,
it's going to vary.
Yeah, obviously, as a retailer, we want to be favored and be the first one to know everything. But, we would be upset if somebody else got that treatment. So it's truly a game of respect.
Well, I can give you maybe like a 30-second lead time, but I have to make sure that you don't say that your favorite pen and then hold up that pen to all of the other manufacturers and that you're not saying that, that the other brands are your favorite also.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, see, the people who've been following me around for the past couple of years, they know that my all-time favorite pen is actually the Pelikan M800 Stone Garden. So, yeah. If you go on our website, we've got a whole our store tab, and then you can meet the team, and it actually says it in actual words. So I'm sure Pelikan feels really good about that. I had one here at the shop, but I sold it at our big sidewalk sale 2 years ago because this guy was drooling over it, and I was like, all right, look, man, I'm gonna cry selling this to you, but I'm gonna do it. So that's what was going on there.
So you don't have one?
No, I don't have a Stone Garden. Nope, I sold it. I had
Wow.
05.
Yeah.
So the Stone Garden was just so classy. So everybody, I get people sending me like links and stuff to people selling them on eBay, and I'm like, listen, when the time is right, I'll get one. So good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Well, I want to come visit, and as soon as this craziness is over and we can get back to the normal ways of business, I come visit you. We'll go get lunch, and perhaps there might be a gift. So
no way.
Maybe.
Oh man. Hey, listen. You know the Chicago food, so we'll treat you to whatever you want, my man. Hopefully when you're in Chicago, we're able to do an event in person.
Exactly.
That's what we want, because that is such a great way for people to meet the individuals behind the brand hold the products. You know, we do the best that we can right now. And first off, this is incredibly informative. Gary, you have been one of the most informative guests we've had on here. The fact that you're teaching me new stuff live is like, whoa, this is crazy. But we'll be counting down the days to have you here. Let's move on. You mentioned the new red tortoiseshell that's coming out.
Yeah.
I have a photo of it. I'm sure you're prepared to, yeah. So you're more prepared than me. You're awesome, man. This is crazy. So what's going on with this, and what's the expected release date?
So the product should be shipping from Germany next week. Not sure exactly what day. We should have them the middle of the month. Probably, I'm guessing around the 18th of the month, we should have the M600 tortoiseshell red. It's kind of a very bright and warm pen. It kind of reminds you of a sunset. It's got some bright, deep red, but also some browns in there that gives it that look. But it's a beautiful pen, and in the M600 size with the gold fittings. I love. Let me get a 600 here. Just this is a vibrant orange, which I love. It's got the transparent, and that's one of the things that with Pelikan you can see. Actually, the transparent barrel, you can actually see the plunger moving inside the barrel. It gives you a little bit of a idea of what's going on. But so this here, just to kind of give you, this will be a very the same size, and just to give a comparison, here's the 800 and the 600. So this is the 600 vibrant orange, which would be virtually the same. And a few of the other things that I love about Pelikan is the logo on the end of the pen. Let's see if we can get that showing up there.
There you go. Yeah, you got the chick and you got the mother pelican, it looks like.
Yeah, and for many people know the history of Pelikan, and the logo has changed over the years. And I think the original logo had 4 chicks on the logo, and then it moved to 2, and now it moved to 1. And hang on just a second here. Let's see here.
Yeah,
get off my bookcase here. There's a really cool book here that's called Pelikan, the brand, and you can learn so much going through this. And you open the cover here, and the very first thing it says is how the baby bird got into the nest and how many when. So if you want to know how many chicks are on it, you get Pelikan, the brand book. I don't know if you ever carried this.
No, I never heard of that before. That's pretty wicked, though.
I don't know, somebody's not doing their job and keeping Atlas informed of all the latest goings on. The book goes back a few years ago. I forget which year it was published, but yeah, I'm not sure the actual date of it, but it goes back a couple of years.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool book, and Pelikan's got such an amazing history through going back to 1838 when they started out as a manufacturer of inks and paints. They made artist colors and so forth, and then to the point where in 1929, I think in 1929 they decided to invent the double helix on the piston, and all of the piston pens, anything beginning with an M series on there, when you go to fill the pen and you see the piston moving in, I'm showing this on the demonstrator, you can see it really clearly. But when you turn this, it's going twice as fast every time you turn it. What that does is it makes changing and filling the ink so much easier, so much faster. So you'll have that feature on the 600 tortoiseshell red as well.
So does that create like a better seal? So ink is easier to kind of draw upwards?
It doesn't change the seal. The seal's got the plunger has the seal in there, but all you're really doing is, and I don't know if you can how close you can see this. Let me see if I can get on there. You can see the plunger on there, but it's basically 2 spirals that are working together. So when you do it, it moves the plunger twice as fast as a normal plunger. That's the patent. That's what when Pelikan came out with their first fountain pen back in 1929. And I don't think you could probably pick a worse year to come out with a pen. And, going back throughout history, 1929, the beginning of the Great Depression, which actually was not just the U.S. but the whole world. They came out with that, and to this day, here we are in 2020, an equally crazy year.
I'm starting to think this about every 100 years is when something bad's going to happen. That's kind of what I've learned, you know, in my past life 90 years ago. So.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see the beautiful M600, and I think you can take pre-orders on this if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. So you and I talked before the show. We made sure we submitted our orders for the M600, the new tortoiseshell red, and the M405 silver white. So to all of you listening right now, take advantage of the show special. You can pre-order it. We are expecting them in sometime this month, and as a Pelikan advocate, I promise you won't regret getting it. So really good stuff here. Real quick, Gary, going back to the chicks on the Pelikan, I think it's a really cool concept that a lot of pen collectors, if you're going to a pen show, this is one of the most collected pens probably in pen history. You know, I see pen collectors that will have 20 of these all lined up in their case, and they can tell you like exactly what year it was made, or this pen was made from this time through that time because it has 4 chicks on it or 2 chicks on it, just the evolution of the logo or just some small characteristics. So it just really, to me, it's cool. It's cool that they can identify like, yep, 1945, you know?
Well, and there's been so much documentation of the Pelikan history and the brands and coming out with the books. The guy, I don't know the whole story, but there was a guy who was a publisher who was a pen aficionado, and he went to Pelikan and said, "Hey, I'd like to do a book on your brand."
Wow.
And so with all of the people at Pelikan that knew the history and all the history that they had, they worked with this publisher creating a book that now, you know, you can. Yeah, I'll make sure I send you one of those books too, just so you can have one on display. And I don't know how many we have left in stock, but I think we still have a couple of them left in stock. But I'll let you know what our inventory is, and then if somebody wants to get the book, you'll be able to have one and actually show it.
Absolutely.
And actually use it as a resource as well, which is great, because a lot of times people will come in, and I get this every now and then. Someone says, "Hey, I got this pen. I have no idea what it is." It's nice to be able to do that, and there will be more books in the future.
Sure. It's difficult. As you mentioned, I get people bringing in their vintage pens that need refills, or they need you know, a good cleaning, and they ask me to identify it. I'm like, well, this doesn't have any brand marking. It has nothing, so I have no idea what this could be. But great. Hey, I really appreciate that. So it's really nice of you. Real quick, let's move into the 200 series. With the 205 per se. The one I want to show is the Ink of the Year pen, the Pen of the Year. That is the Moonstone. That was the 2020 Ink of the Year, Pen of the Year. And if you're able to release the 2021 color, I'm sure the crowd is dying to know. If not, we totally understand. But yeah, let's get an up close. Do you want to talk a little bit about this special edition series?
Yeah, the Ink of the Year is something that started back in 2012. And the Ink of the Year was started on the Edelstein ink that they have. Let me see. I think I've got somewhere around here, I've got a list of all of the different colors that they've had throughout the year.
It's great colors. Every color is like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, here. So if you look, these are all of the Edelstein inks that have been throughout the years. Now, the name actually means gemstone, and so all of the inks are kind of based on a gemstone. So back in 2012, Pelikan came out with the first Ink of the Year called Tourmaline, which was a plum color. Mm-hmm. And every year after that, in February, we will let you know what the Ink of the Year color is for 2021.
At the same time as everyone else, except you'll let me know 30 seconds prior.
Exactly. So it went through Tourmaline, Amber, Garnet, Amethyst, Aquamarine, Smoky Quartz, Olivine, Star Ruby. We got a star. Here's Moonstone and Star Ruby here, both of those. So what came first was the actual ink.
Sure.
And Pelikan is one of the few companies that actually manufactures their own inks and manufactures their own pens, and actually started out as an ink manufacturer. So I think 2016, if I'm not mistaken, was the first Ink of the Year pen that was matched with it. And so from then on, the ink will be launched in February or thereabout, February, March, and then the pen will come in the early fall or late summer. And so current pen of 2020 is the Moonstone, and here's the Moonstone ink, which again, what they do is they go through and there's 1,200 different ideas of colors.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And each year they go through that list and choose one. And I'm not part of that group that determines what it's going to be, but they come out with the color of the ink, which has already been decided for 2021, and now they're working on the pen, which will get a be launched sometime late summer of 2021. But so each one of them comes out. It's got here's the this particular one is the Star Ruby, which was the pen for the ink of the year. So each year there'll be one in the M200 size, and it's the Moonstone, which you're showing there, is a beautiful pen, and the Moonstone's really got that I don't know, kind of a modest, shimmery look to it. I don't know, it's coming across really good in your video there. Looks really
the lighting
nice.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to show it. So this is kind of what it looks like under normal light. You still see some shimmer. You know, it's not as vivid though if you were to like really get it under light. I mean, look at that. That is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And Gary, when you were showing the Moonstone ink, we noticed that the cap was gray. Is that something new on the Edelstein bottles? Because normally they're black.
All of the other ones are black, and they chose to go with a gray cover. And there's the normal one with the Pelikan chick. And then here's the Moonstone.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
And I don't know why that was chosen on there, if it was just because of the color combination, but it is interesting that you caught that they did change the cap on there. The cap is absolutely identical. It's just that it's gray instead of black. On the traditional one, you'll get the black with the silver logo. On this particular one, it's gray. A little different look to it. So I'm actually very excited to find out what the cap is going to look like on the 2021 ink of the year.
I like that they went with the gray. I think somebody commented asking if they're going to continue that, and I think they should. You know, I mean, to me, it's just it's a cool. It makes it more collectible per se. It makes it more unique and individualistic. So I think that would be pretty cool if they did that.
Well, there's been 9 different ink of the year so far, and so the 2021 will be the 10th year of the ink.
Big.
And I think that'll be the 5th pen of the ink of the year pen.
Yeah,
so,
I think you were saying 2016 was aquamarine, so I think that was the first pen.
I think it was. I don't think there was an amethyst, which was the year before that. What's nice about it? Let me put this pen back in here. You can buy the pens individually, or you can buy them with the matching ink. So this one here was Smoky Quartz, which I think was 2018. Let me look at my list here. Smoky Quartz was 2017. And so you get the pen and the ink bottle in a nice, beautiful box.
That's awesome.
And so the Moonstone, obviously, you can get. But what's nice is you can buy just the pen if you don't want to buy the ink as well, or you can buy the ink with the pen with the ink. You save about $15 or $20 by buying them together.
Yeah, that's almost getting the ink for free. So really nice deal.
Exactly.
Really nice deal.
Very close to that. But that's it. I do have just speaking of the M200s, the 200. I'm going to try and do this again here. I've got a lot of the 200s. Let me put my favorite is the new pastel green. I'll put that one on here too, and see if I can get a good view of all of the. Where are we here? There we are. But there's a Pelikan tray of a lot of the M200s and M205s.
Wow. Yeah, the gold marble one was really sweet.
With the white cap?
Yeah.
And then the brown marble was very similar with the black cap.
Yeah, so I know Pelikan offers like the Pelicanos and some lower end items in terms of price point. To me, I kind of feel that in order to really get a feel for the brand, you have to start with, you know, the 101 or a 200. And then that's how you kind of work your way up to get into kind of the heart of the brand, which I would say is like the 800 series. To me, I mean, once you reach the gold nibs on these Pelikans, you really notice the writing experience is just so much different than everything else out there. To me, I call it butter. It's smooth as butter. So if you're looking to just get into the brand and experiment with it without spending $400+, the 200 series is the perfect series to do it, in my opinion. So
that pastel green is beautiful. Now going back, you said butter was the term you used.
Smooth
so I got
butter.
Crispy and butter are the two terms I learned a couple of new nuggets.
Yeah, hey, we're helping each other out here. You know, I got the lingo, you got the knowledge, so it's a good mutual beneficiary here.
Hey, you brought up the Pelicano, and so I thought I'd show that. And here's a Pelicano, which it's a $29 fountain pen, and for a long time I was using the Pelicano to write with every day, and I was amazed. And I've not tried a lot of the low-end fountain pens that exist in the world, but I couldn't imagine a better fountain pen for $30.
Yeah.
And I love that it's got the ink window in there, and so you can see this one here. I don't know if the red is showing up. I think it is.
It is.
I've got red ink in there. I love that you've got the ink window, and they say that all of the German children learn to write with a Pelikan. They have to get one to learn handwriting.
Yeah.
Obviously a lost art in this country, but they do.
Sick.
And so I love the Pelicano. And Pelikan is known a lot for the high-end and the super high-end and the premium and the limited editions and the you know, all of the going on up to what $7,500 pens that they've come with.
The 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, there is a pen that I'm going to be bringing in. It actually exists in the world now, so it's not like nobody knows, but it doesn't exist in the U.S., and it's called the Pelikan Jazz. So I'll give you one little thing here. The Pelikan Jazz is a cool series, and I'm bringing in 19 flavors or 19 colors.
19, I love it. Flavors, baby.
So this one here is a ballpoint, and I know the people that are watching this aren't really enamored with the ballpoint, but there will be a series of fountain pens in it also. And so for people starting out, they'll be able to get, and this series is going to range basically from the $18 to $30 range for the ballpoint.
Incredible.
But the neat thing is it's going to be available in so many different colors. And so I'll probably in the spring we'll have those. So I get a little bit of an inside knowledge there for you.
Yeah, thank you. I could see that. I mean, think about 2021 holiday season. I mean, you get the different colors, you gift them out, you enable your friends. That already looks like it's going to be successful. Really good value there. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And it's a neat series, and what Pelikan quality they don't sacrifice the quality when they go down to the lower end pens. And they're not real big in the lower end, but they are coming out with some new ones. There'll be a couple other new launches on the lower end also. But what I love is that even when you take, you compare the M1000, which almost $1,000, and you write with it, and you write with the $30 Pelicano, you're getting a very good experience with both of them.
Absolutely, and that's just the German engineering. That's the intelligence behind Pelikan. They know exactly what they're doing. Every piece of the pen, of the design, has a particular function. Real quick, I'm actually going to zoom in on a M1000 nib. So a big reason why I personally fell in love with Pelikan before I even knew how it wrote was honestly the bicolor, the gold nib, the two-tone nib. This is one of the prettiest nibs I've ever seen, and I've come across quite a few in my life. Just look at that. I mean, that is incredible. The imprint, everything.
Awesome.
It never gets old looking at it. You just never get sick of it. And then let me show I'll show the 805 nib. Yeah, this is my everyday carry pen right here for sure.
Nice.
Do you know what the inspiration for, see those like swirls right there? Do you know what that represents? I've always wondered.
I don't. I'm going to have to find out that answer because I don't know. I do know that when the ink gets in and you start seeing the kind of the little cutout in the nib there, and you get some of the inks in there, the light will shine on those, and actually it almost makes it look like the nib is glowing. I love the way that the ink sits in the nib, and you can actually see the color when it gets on some of the parts of the nib there.
It's just perfect, man. Like seriously, just perfect. Excellent. Real quick, let's talk about the different nib sizes. You can do extra fine, fine, medium, broad. Is there any double broad or obliques available, or is that kind of a custom grind?
There is. One of the things that people love the most about Pelikan is, obviously the simplicity of it and the build quality, but, taking the cap off with a 3/4 turn, all of the nibs can be removed by unthreading the nib on here.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is you can actually buy another nib. So if you have an M1000, you don't have to buy a whole new pen to change the size of the pen. You can actually buy a new nib. Now, the nib is almost half the price of the pen, so that's really where all the money of the pen is going to be. But you do have the ability to do that. So Pelikan makes a wide range of pens. Typically, anything on the 200 series and 400 series, you're going to see the extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. But when you start going up, they make the double broad and the oblique and some of the other nibs and choices there. But we have them in stock. They're available if somebody wants to order one. It's not. I mean, it's not something that you can necessarily stock every single size and every single type of nib. But we do have them in stock at Chart Pack, and so anybody that wants to change the nib in the pen that they're currently using, we should have it available.
Sure, and that's a great point. We're always willing to special order any pen and nib size that you're looking for. Gary, as you mentioned, it's so difficult to carry everything. As much as I wish we could carry every single Pelikan, but if any of you who are watching, you see we're out of stock on a nib, or if you see that we're not showing a nib on our website, we'll look to get a quote for you and an ETA. I'm so excited for 2021 and kind of what Pelikan's going to do. Is there anything else you want to talk about real quick? I mean, I have some ballpoints here. I think we might as well brush up on them real quick. I mean, there's the click ballpoints and then the twist ballpoints. So the twist retractable ones, those start at the 600 series?
Yeah, the 600 series starts the twist. I find a very, I don't know, an elegance to the twist. I love the twist when you get up to the 600 on the ballpoints. The 200 that you're showing there, those are a push click. I don't think I have any ballpoints right here. Well, if I can reach over, I can usually find a couple of more pens.
Just a few.
But let's see here. Yeah, I've got blue marble in the push ballpoint, and let's see here. Oh, the Ocean Swirl.
The Ocean Swirl is a popular one.
Yeah, that was an 800, and so on this one here, you'll have the twist mechanism here. And again, it's almost about less than a quarter turn to propel the ballpoint out. It's absolutely amazing, and it's got almost a click to it when you do it. It's an amazing feel. When you think about a ballpoint, you don't really think about that part of it, but I love the way that it feels when you just turn the pen on and do that twist there.
You feel the strong mechanism. When the mechanism is stronger, you can tell you can tell the difference between that and a weaker mechanism. And, we sell dozens and dozens of ballpoints here too, believe it or not. I know people are going to not like that for some reason. But it's just all around, even the roller balls. Like, it's not just the fountain pens that really do well in the market. It's all three models. Somebody was mentioning that Pelikan, is it Pelikan or is it Chart Pack that also distributes kind of watercolor or art supplies? Is that Chart Pack?
Chart Pack, yeah, that was going back to the beginning of our conversation today. Is Chart Pack owns 20 brands, and all of them have something to do with art materials. We have Grumbacher is probably our biggest brand, and Kohinoor. Kohinoor makes every type of pencil imaginable. So we have a lot of different products. Now, a lot of things that people don't know, and I'll pull this out real quick here. This is a 2020 catalog from Pelikan, which is all of the fine pens. So you go through this, you'll see all of the amazing fine pens. But there's another catalog that pull it out here is their office products division. And so this here has also every type of office product and so forth, but also has a complete range of children's products as well.
So they've got the whole 9 yards. It's crazy.
So just within Pelikan, there is a complete range of office products, children's products, and fine pens. They are a premier manufacturer in Germany, and they do a lot of things, and they do a lot of things very, very well. But Chart Pack, we distribute the Pelikan brand. We also distribute a couple of other European brands in art materials, and then we actually manufacture paints, papers, brushes, pencils. We've got actually 3 facilities now in Massachusetts. One of them is offices and manufacturing, and then we got 2 warehouse locations also right nearby. So
yeah, I think
Chart Pack continues to expand.
Yeah, so I know here at Atlas, I mean, we've always been discussing kind of expanding in the art supply game and kind of be a little more artistic with the products we carry. So I could see that being a really nice new genre of products we carry. So I thought that was important. I remember 2 years ago, I think, I was in New Orleans and I met some of the Chart Pack representatives and I saw all the products at the booth and I was like, what the heck? I did not know that you guys did all of this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Real quick, we're approaching an hour. Again, fantastic show here, Gary. I mean, you've absolutely killed it. You've shared the love, shared the knowledge. People are asking about nib compatibility, and I've gotten a few questions myself about if you can cross any of the Pelikan models with each other. Like, can you put a Pelikan M400 nib on a 200, or I don't recall what they're asking off the top of my head, but what type of nibs can you swap? Is there anything compatible?
No, you really need to stay with the size of the pen and the size of the nib. And if you look at the comparison of the nibs are a different size and different thread pattern for each of them. So you'll need to go with the exact nib for each of the pens.
Yeah, absolutely. Now
you can change between the gold or the rhodonized nibs, the gold within the same series. So if you wanted to go from a gold colored nib to a silver colored nib, you can change that way as long as you're changing an 800 for an 800 or an 800 for 805.
Absolutely. But it seems like the trend is to keep, silver trim with a silver color nib and a gold trim with gold color nib. I'm trying to browse through. Gary, you are getting a ton of questions. So the last few minutes here, before we talk about the giveaway, I'm trying to read off a lot of questions. So someone's asking if you have any of the maquillés on you. I'm sold out of all the maquillés we've brought in, unfortunately. Do you have any with you?
I don't. It's one of the things that I get samples of just about everything, except I cannot get a sample of maquillé. The last maquillé, the Kingfisher, the U.S. only got 12 of the maquillés. There was, 120 of them made. Now, one of the things that happens is very popular in Japan, and the Japan Pelikan gets almost all of them. And so they actually, that's where they're made. That's that's where they're hand painted and so forth. But yeah, so I don't have any of them. I was on a Zoom call a while back with a pen group, and somebody had just bought the Maki-E Kingfisher and was holding it up, and there's 40 people on the call, and everybody's like oohing and eyeing, like,
dude, they're beautiful. They're so beautiful, so detailed. So yeah, I think Pelikan will send the M1000 model over to Japan where they have the Maki-E artists, and then they're the ones who incorporate all the artwork, and it seems like that type of process takes forever. I mean, that's a lot of patience involved, and then they distribute them out. Anytime.
Yeah, it takes about 4 months to
4
Once
months?
they get into Japan, it takes about 4 months to do it. The whole process is almost a year-long process of getting the thing because of the layers and the lacquers that they build up and so forth. But yeah, they're amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. So I assume because there was 2 released last year, I think the umbrellas and the lucky bats. This year was
Right.
the kingfisher. Can we expect one? I mean, if you're allowed to give out any info, can we expect one in 2021? I know they're not released every year per se, or sometimes they double up. Can we expect something in 2021?
I couldn't tell you if I knew, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
Okay,
I
good.
don't
It's
know
a
the
good
answer.
surprise then. I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
So perfect. Is there anything you'd like to say just in regards to any of the product or anything else? Someone's asking you to inform Pelikan to make a retractable fountain pen. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so let me tell you that every year there is a fine pen conference. This year was canceled, obviously, but I went to the one the year before, so in 2019. And that was the biggest thing we went there with is we wanted the retractable fountain pen, and it's not happening anytime soon. I can tell you that. And I actually have a couple of Namikis in my pen case over here of the retractable fountain pens. I love them. I think it's the coolest thing. And I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when it does happen, the whole world is about to collapse. I mean, a retractable Pelikan, that's a pretty big deal. So,
Exactly.
hey, I'm patient. I don't mind being patient because a release like that would be so epic that I try to savor it for a long time. But Gary, perfect. This has seriously been awesome. You guys, we have a couple minutes left. If you have any other questions, I'm sorry I missed some of you, but we do have to keep things moving along. Feel free to shoot us a direct message, and we'll put you in touch with Gary, or we'll answer any questions ourselves. But for the giveaway, shall we show them what we've decided to do?
Yeah, do you have? I don't have one of those pens. I had to send it to Atlas. So
Yeah. Man, I'm the one to blame. I don't have one either, but I've got it pulled up. I don't know if you noticed, I was typing away a little bit. So we are going to do, the M101N Gray Blue. $685. We are giving this baby away. Check that out. So this came in a gift set, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, it comes in a gift set with a bottle of ink as well.
Excellent, excellent. So I think the most appropriate way to give this away is I'll make a post after the call, but we'll reference something that you said during this video so everybody who watched it has a leg up. And I'm going to make sure everyone will DM me so they're not sharing the answers in the comment section, if that makes sense. Gary, is there any particular question you want to ask the crowd and give the answer for the giveaway, or should I kind of just refer back?
Go ahead and refer back.
Sure. That's good because I'm going to watch the video again and relearn all the knowledge. So.
Yeah, I don't want them to just come right to the end and find out what the question was. So
perfect.
I have to watch it.
So, okay, so you guys, this is how it's going to work. Right after the video, I'm going to go back and we're going to find a very particular part of the video that Gary and I were discussing, some particular information. We will announce the clue on a separate post after this one is posted. You will watch the video again. You will find the correct answer and you'll shoot Atlas a direct message. If you get it correctly, we will enter you in the pool for the drawing, and we'll probably do the drawing, I don't know, we'll do it maybe tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Time. So we'll let it run for 24, 23 hours, and then a winner will be selected at random, and they're about to have one of the greatest pens on earth. So that's crazy. Gary, thank you so much. Do you want to say goodbye real quick before I sign us off?
Thank you very much for having me. Look forward to being there someday, and we'll do an event at Atlas, and you did a great job. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Really nice to meet you in person, face-to-face, I guess the 2020 way. So thank you so much, and we'll be in touch, okay?
All right, thanks. So long.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been one of the most informative, one of my personal favorite virtual takeovers. Gary definitely knows what he's talking about. So if you have any questions, refer back to the video. Shoot Gary a direct message. Shoot us a direct message. We will be sure to get you covered. Please keep in mind we are running 30% off on all Pelikan today. You just go to atlasstationers.com. We've got a homepage banner right there. You can even apply the discounts on the new releases that you can pre-order. So pre-order yours today. Do not miss out. These are the new special edition coming out this month. Would you share the video again? Yes, the video will be posted on our profile page. So shortly after I sign off, you'll be able to see it there. But thank you, everybody. Much love. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Keep smiling. Keep practicing social distancing. Happy holidays, and I'll see you on Saturday, all right? Peace.